Hello, everybody. Welcome, everybody. We are good to go. All right. Good morning. I'm on Zepbound, Bill. You're crushing it, Bill. How you doing? How you guys doing? Welcome, everybody. We're gonna chat about peptides today. It's all about peptides. Maximizing your weight loss result with the right peptides. Too many of you guys are struggling right now because you don't know how to use peptides. I get these questions every single day because I coach thousands of patients. Weight loss, metabolic health, optimization, all different parts of the journey. And then I also coach, just so you guys know. We coach strategically, helping people with lifestyle interventions. I would say that's a big piece. Making sure that you guys are doing the lifestyle piece correctly. That's super important. Good morning, Bill, Anthony, Luis. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the live. I share this. Awesome. Yesterday I was 233. This morning I'm 235 after a week of, I wouldn't freak out about a momentary lapse in your weight loss program. I wouldn't, You gotta be patient with the process. You're gonna have weeks where you don't lose. You're gonna have weeks where you gain. This is the reality of weight loss, and knowing when to panic, knowing when to freak out, knowing when to change something is super important. Yes, AOD 9604 is one of my favorite peptides to stack to GLP-1s. This is the tried and true peptide, AOD 9604. The reason why I like it so much is because what AOD does, is it's mobilizing body fat. And good morning, Phil. Good morning, Zeke. So, mobilization of body fat. You see the new TikTok accounts, lady? I see that you see them. These are the two TikTok accounts. If you guys are watching us on TikTok and you haven't seen my videos on TikTok, it's because they like to play this game with me. The game is called You Need a New Account. I don't like this game with TikTok, but they seem to think it's really fun for them, so I just have to keep playing. So, if you know what I mean. So these are the two new TikTok accounts. And if you guys haven't already, if you're not following me on YouTube already, you need to do that, because we're putting out videos every single week. About 4 videos a week where I talk about peptides and GLP-1 medications strategically, how to use them for proper lifestyle interventions, to ultimately achieve weight loss, weight maintenance, and optimal health. Good morning, John. Can you take the TB and BPC blend while on retatrutide? Matt, sure you can. What is your current goal? What are you trying to accomplish? What's up? What's up? It's me. Hey, bro. How you doing? How many weeks in a row of no weight loss would you say is a stall? Usually 3 weeks. 2 weeks, I'm starting to say, okay, we kind of check things out a little bit, see if anything's weird, see if we can explain the lack of weight loss. 2 weeks, but the third week, yes. Then we need to figure out, then we need to push the panic button. I wouldn't even push the panic button, but I would push the concern button at 3 weeks and figure out what's going wrong, what do I need to change, and assess the whole program. You cycle like a teenager. Lime soda, if you were trying to be funny, that's not even funny. I don't even know what you're referring to. What is lime soda referring to? I have no idea. Matt, losing about 20, 30 pounds plus healing a bad back and nervous system with inflammation. Fantastic. Yeah, the BPC TB500 can help overall systemic inflammation. Doing some good structural rehab work can help as well. What do you do when you start looking smaller and not as muscular on a cut, but you're not ripped? Well, you have two choices. You either keep losing fat while protecting muscle, or you take a break from weight loss and you go on a maximal muscle building stage or phase, I would say. The leaner you get, the harder it is to do both. That's just the reality of it. So you need to choose between phases or stages, muscle building versus fat loss. John, for me being a type 2 diabetic, what would be a maintenance dose? John, if you were working with me, I would actually still work towards reversing your diabetes. I know that sounds crazy, but my goal for you would be to reverse your diabetes. That way you're no longer a diabetic, and then you can just maintain on a microdose. I do this all the time. I help people reverse their diabetes all the time, so it's very possible. Yeah, if you've been bulking for a year and a half, my friend, then it's time to get your butt into a cut. It's time to cut. Can you do Retta and Sloop? We have patients that do Retta and Sloop all the time, although I prefer tirzepatide. I prefer sticking with something that is going to work more often. There's not a lot of upside with retatrutide. There's a chance that you don't get as good appetite suppression. And I see this because I coach. We have a lot of patients underneath our care. Is Retta legal yet? I don't know what you mean by legal. Is it FDA approved yet? No, but there are no FDA approved peptides. So yes, we do offer coaching. We do offer consulting. We do service all 50 states. Just so you guys know, that's what it's like when you work with me. You get the guidance, the support, the structure, the help. So let me introduce. I know a lot of you guys are asking a little bit about how it all works. So my name is Dr. Jones. I have clinics that service across the nation, all 50 states. That's you have access to me wherever you're at. My medical team are the ones that prescribe. So we prescribe the GLP-1s, semaglutide, tirzepatide, retatrutide. We do all the powerful peptide stacks. So for inflammation, BPC 157, KPV, low dose naltrexone. For mitochondria, super important, mitochondrial help. We do SS31, MOTC, Sloop 332. For fat mobilizers, we do the AOD 9604, Sloop 332, and then we have the growth hormone anti-aging GHK copper. Beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Uncle Charlie, I agree. I'm all about that beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. We have a lot of patients that are following a carnivore diet with their peptides and GLP-1s, and they are just absolutely crushing it. Because, eating a beef, butter, and bacon, and eggs diet, eating a carnivore diet will reduce inflammation dramatically, and then the peptides can really get to work and really just change the outcome significantly faster. and more effectively. So, no, I was not in a band called Aqua. Oh, that's funny. Hey, Linda, thank you so much, Linda. I appreciate that. Even if you are in Australia, you can still reach out to us. You can still get some coaching, some guidance, some support. We got you covered. Good morning, Osito. What's up, buddy? Andy, starting HGH, any first starting recommendations? Are you starting real HGH or are you starting growth hormone peptides? I'm not a fan of HGH. We don't really, with our patients, we don't mess with HGH, but I know it can be done right. I prefer peptides. It's an easier path. Hey, Kata, we're focused on metabolic health. So when you think about metabolic health, we're talking insulin resistance, inflammation. We are focused on fixing people's metabolic health so that they can achieve lasting weight loss, so that they can achieve optimal health, and then we help them decrease their medication dose. That's the goal. That's what it looks like when you're working with me and my clinic and my practitioners. Andy, you're going to do peptides. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think peptides are the way to go. I think peptides are the way to go, without a doubt. Best peptides for brain fog. If you're in a hormonal deficient situation, it's going to be getting your hormones fixed. A lot of times with brain fog, it can be testosterone, it can be thyroid, it can be inflammation, and then it could be mitochondrial. ATP is low. So there's a lot of, with GLP-1 patients, people on Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, the most common issue that I see is people not eating enough food. The most common issue I see is people not eating enough food. I look like 007. Which 007? I thought 007 agents had hair. So the bald 007 agent, I'll take that. Uncle Charlie, I do a cold plunge 3 minutes a day, 40 degrees. I wouldn't do it every day. I think a couple times a week cold plunging is great. If you're losing weight and you're feeling better. Mounjaro has taken so much inflammation away in regards to RA, rheumatoid arthritis. I feel like a new person. I'm truly shocked. Linda, that's amazing. And just so you know, this is why I'm so excited about GLP-1 medications. Yes, Zeke, our peptides are high quality. They come from a high quality 503A pharmacy, and they ship directly to your doorstep. Does dairy contribute to inflammation? For some people, yes. For others, no. Some people can tolerate dairy, some people cannot. How do you lose weight on Mounjaro if you're also taking hormone blockers? Why are you taking hormone blockers, Gina? What problem are you trying to solve with hormone blockers? And what hormones are you blocking? There's a lot of questions behind that statement that need to be answered before I can answer your question. With Ozempic, I lost my appetite and now my appetite is back. Yeah, so I don't know what dose you're on, but for a lot of people, they're on too high of a dose. Their body begins to adapt to the GLP-1. And once it adapts to the GLP-1, They're not getting good results. They're not happy with what's going on. So, yeah, we need to. This is why we always prefer with our patients, we always prefer the low dosing strategy. The low dosing strategy is what we do to keep people. It's our overall approach of keeping people on the lowest dose possible. Yes, Raichi, our initial consultation is completely free. Some of you guys are asking about what's the process if you guys want to work with us. If you guys want to learn more, if you guys want some help, if you're tired of, floundering and not getting support guidance, you can reach out to us directly. That number is 229-441-3562. That number again to reach out to us to get some support is 229-441-3562. All you got to do is shoot them a text message, let them know that you want to get set up for a free consultation. And this is for the peptides, this is for the coaching, this is for all of the above, whatever you guys need help with. That first consultation is completely free. And they're going to go over the programs, the pricing. Now, by the way, guys, if you're not already following me on YouTube, take a quick second, go to YouTube right now, type in Dr. Jones DC. You will find my YouTube page, and give us a follow, turn on your notifications. If you guys like to learn, if this information that I teach you about weight loss stalls, slow responders, peptide protocols for your GLP-1 medications, if this kind of information is helpful to you, then you're definitely going to want to give us a follow. So check us out on YouTube. We do ship all 50 states. And if you're outside of the country, we can't ship outside of US, but you can still do our coaching. We do have international coaching programs. Best peptide for tighter skin and fat burning. Well, GHK copper is the best peptide. It's a copper tripeptide that plays many roles in collagen synthesis, and it even upregulates the genes that promote better skin. So GHK copper is a longevity peptide, and it's also a skin tightening and skin enhancing peptide. We just posted a video yesterday, a comprehensive deep dive video about GHK copper. This is the new kid on the block. This is the flashy blue peptide. If you guys are following me on TikTok and you haven't seen my new accounts, these ones right here are the two new TikTok accounts, Forever Wellness and Progress Over Perfect. Just because, TikTok is making us constantly make new accounts, just a pain in the butt. And so, yeah, if you want to follow my TikToks, if you guys like learning 60-second, 90-second, bite-sized, informational, educational videos, then you're definitely going to want to follow me on TikTok and Facebook. On hormone blockers due to cancer to block estrogen. Yeah, given that situation, Gina, the GLP-1s and peptides and everything that we're doing should still be really helpful. Fasting is very beneficial for cancer. Fasting is very beneficial for cancer. Hey, Nancy, are there peptides for inflammation for Crohn's? Yes, there is. So if you guys are struggling with inflammatory issues, BPC 157, KPV, low dose naltrexone, and GLP-1, that's your inflammation powerhouse. That's your inflammation stack. John, are these meds covered by insurance? No, they're not. Unfortunately, insurance companies, you might get your Ozempic, your Mounjaro, Zepbound, covered as a diabetic, John. Obviously, you're probably getting that covered already, but the peptides are not covered by insurance. Lori started Wegovy 4 weeks ago, but still thinking about sweets. So, Lori, glutamine Glutamine's really helpful for sugar cravings. So you can add glutamine to your daily regimen, 5 grams of glutamine 3 times a day. Why is fasting better for cancer and hormones? I didn't say fasting was better compared to what, right? I said fasting is helpful for cancer. That's well documented. But I'm certainly not saying you replace your cancer treatment with fasting. Fasting activates cellular autophagy. Fasting inhibits mTOR, which are growth pathways. So fasting is inhibiting growth, and growth is cancer. Cancer is uncontrolled growth. So this is why fasting is well understood as a anti-cancerous activity. Best fasting windows. Well, our patients, we start them off on a like a 16-8 intermittent fasting window. That's usually where we start. And then from there, we work towards longer fasting rounds. We work towards longer fasting rounds, like 24 plus weekly therapeutic fasting. Sam, I'm a DC. I'm a doctor of chiropractic, and I have a medical clinic. So I have medical practitioners that work with me. Does your program cover blood tests in the initial payment? It depends on what you're paying for, Sabrina. We have different programs. If you get our Warrior Coaching program, it includes the blood work. If you don't, you can buy blood work separately. So it just totally depends on what you're looking to accomplish. Yeah, you're welcome, Sabrina. Yeah, Gina, we would need to look at some blood work. My medical team would need to evaluate, but potentially, yes. Potentially, we'd be able to help you. We'd have to verify. We would have to look at, what's going on. But there's definitely a potential. Yes. Good morning, Lisa. Lady, yes, we offer. We do prescribe GHK copper. Hey, Sam, 5937. It's an interesting perspective, right? I appreciate and respect your opinion. You don't have to like or agree with anything you see on YouTube, right? But you're voicing your opinion, so you're feeling compelled to be antagonistic on this live when people are here to learn. So, but that's fair. That's fair. I respect your opinion. So, just so you know, I've been doing metabolic health and weight loss for the last 20 years. Started with my own personal journey, and now I teach this to doctors. I teach this to clinicians. None of this stuff is taught in medical school. Peptides, metabolic health, this is all postgraduate training that I've done. So, with all due respect, I challenge your notion and encourage you to understand that currently no medical doctors are taught this stuff. So, unfortunately, you don't see many medical doctors discussing this sort of medicine because most of them are stuck in a broken healthcare model. So Millions of patients right now are looking to improve their health and break free from the shackles of Western medicine and constant drugs, and, take control of their health. I'm a big advocate of implementing strategic lifestyle interventions. Functional medicine's my background. So, yeah, there you go. Thoughts on HGH hormone? I don't like Daisy. I hope you're not taking growth hormone. Now, if you're taking growth hormone peptides, that might be fine. I'm not sure what kind of peptides, what kind of growth hormone you're talking about, but I'm a bigger fan of growth hormone peptides. Carly, I started Tessa IPA, but I'm stalled on GLP-1. How do I break it? So the main reason why people stall on their GLP-1 medications is entering starvation mode, entering a state of metabolic downregulation where your hormones, your thyroid hormones production decreases because you've not been eating enough food over an extended period of time. So we can chat about weight loss stalls, we can chat about slow results. The other reason why your results might not be good, guys, the four main culprits behind slow results on GLP-1 meds: cortisol, thyroid, inflammation, and insulin resistance. These are the four main culprits. Spitfire, I was 16 when I started with him, and now I'm 130. Oh, I was 161. Thank you. Let's see. Can 14-year-olds use GLP-1 medications if their pediatrician's on board? If their pediatrician's on board, I'm at 16 to 1800 calories. Would I still be starving? 16 to 1800 is not bad. Depends how long you've been at that deficit, and it depends on your body. But usually starvation mode is more like people that are eating like 1200 calories, 1400 calories or lower. That's usually where the body reacts and starts to slow down the metabolism. Thank you, Virginia. I'm glad you appreciate the information. Heather, I'm wanting to know from my mom who has bone on bone, RA, fibromyalgia. What question do you have, Heather? And I'll do my best to help your mom. Is a DVT to the lungs? She had a DVT. Okay. What is the difference between oral pads and injectable peptides? Oral peptides versus injectable. It's just it's the mode of delivery. The peptides are the peptides, but a lot of peptides, some of them are available orally. They can survive the transit, the acidity, but a lot of them can't, which is why they need to be injected. Generally, most peptides need to be injected. Sam, we cover peptides in biochemistry. Some specialists do. You guys don't cover the kind of peptides that we're talking about. You guys cover peptides and hormones from a basic standpoint, but not the kind of peptides that we're talking about that doctors are prescribing. I've never seen any medical textbook, and I consult with medical doctors all the time. So yeah, you learn about peptide physiology. So do chiropractors. But the training that I'm talking about is actually understanding the cellular medicine and metabolic health pathways that these peptides work through. Yes, Heather, there are a lot of peptides that are very anti-inflammatory. And I really encourage you to reach out and get some support for your mom, because that sounds like she needs help. The most potent anti-inflammatory stack is GLP-1, low-dose naltrexone, BPC 157, and KPV. That's my inflammation stack. Aaron, tesamorelin at night or during the day? I would recommend night. If you're going to do it one time a day, tesamorelin or any growth hormone peptide would be better taken closer to bedtime, as that's going to mimic your body's own natural growth hormone release pattern. The more you can mimic natural growth hormone release, the better it is. You're welcome, Aaron. So guys, if you just joined us here, my name is Dr. Jones. I have clinics that service across the nation, all 50 states. I work with my medical practitioners, so it's kind of cool. They prescribe and I coach. I have a team of coaches and we implement strategic lifestyle interventions to fix your metabolic health. Because my goal, let me know in the comments, guys, is this your goal as well? You want to lose weight, but you also want to maintain your weight loss for the rest of your life. You don't want to maintain your weight loss on large doses of these GLP-1s, right? Like you don't want to be on 15 milligrams of tirzepatide or 2.4 of semaglutide for the rest of your life. You would like to wean off or microdose to maintain your weight loss. Let me know in the comments, is that something that you're striving for? Has anybody set you up with a plan on how to do that? Or are you sitting there wondering like, yeah, I want that, but I have no freaking clue. How do I do that, right? Okay, Crystal, the inflammation stack, super important. The inflammation stack is your GLP-1 medications themselves are very anti-inflammatory. Low dose naltrexone, that's like microdosing naltrexone, very, very powerful for inflammation, autoimmune disease. BPC 157 and KPV. And then in my opinion, nutritional wise, dietary wise, I think you should go on a carnivore diet if you're suffering with autoimmune inflammation or some sort of inflammatory condition. I would go on a carnivore diet. Not for life, but short-term clean up the inflammation. How do you explain what metabolic health is? Yeah, it's a great question because I think a lot of people are confused because metabolic health is not part of standard Western medicine curriculum. Medical doctors are not taught that. Metabolic health refers to how your body handles energy. It's really what it is. How your body processes energy. Because you consume energy, right? You consume calories, protein, fat, carbohydrates. How does your body process calories? That's essentially what metabolic health is. Are you burning fat or are you burning carbohydrates? Or are you storing fat or storing carbohydrates? Are you utilizing the protein? Or are you converting the protein into energy or to heat? Like, what are you doing with the energy? In essence, that's metabolic health. And as you can imagine, metabolic health is extremely important. We are starting to understand, and I think the GLP-1s really helped us understand this, how much more is going on than just calories in, calories out. Calories in, calories out is a very outdated model. At the end of the day, yes, you have to be, we never violate, see, people think that the insulin model, the carbohydrate insulin model and basis of obesity violates the laws of thermodynamics. The law of thermodynamics says you eat in a surplus, you gain weight. You eat in a deficit, you lose weight. That's always true. That is always true. But where people get confused is it's very different for your body to get into a calorie deficit and stay in a calorie deficit when insulin levels are controlled. But when insulin levels are high and you get into the same calorie deficit, it is a completely different situation in the body. And this is what people don't understand, and this is where people get confused. And it's all about calories. It's all about hormones. Well, it's all about both. But the one that you need to focus on is the hormones. And for the most part, the calories will sort of take care of themselves. There's some caveat there. They might not. You can overeat when you have low insulin levels and you're not going to lose weight. You know what I mean? But it's much harder to maintain a calorie deficit when your insulin levels are high. Because insulin will drive your hunger. It'll drive your food chatter. It will impact your metabolic rate. When insulin levels are high, your metabolism can slow down as a reaction to your sustained calorie deficits. And this is huge if you're perimenopausal. How many women watching this right now are menopause right now? How many of you guys are struggling right now with your menopausal weight gain, perimenopausal weight gain? You felt like you had control, and then all of a sudden, boom, You just like lost your ability to control your weight. Let me know in the comments right now. I don't prefer retatrutide as much as I prefer tirzepatide. So what kind of solutions have they given you for your menopause? What are they offering you right now? What sort of solution to this? We got a couple postmenopausal. So first of all, I just need to say this. If you've been told that hormone therapy is a bad idea, you need a new doctor. Like, you need a new doctor. The Women's Health Initiative trial, that data came out, and sadly enough, this information update, because we were told 30, 40 years ago, we were told that hormone therapy for women was bad, that it was dangerous, that it promoted cancer, that it wasn't a good idea. So doctors were terrified, and women for the past 40 years had to suffer because they were not allowed to get on hormone therapy. Now, some doctors, they knew what the real science was, and they still prescribed it. So, but for many of you, you were told it's not a good idea. Well, now you might not know this. Let me know if you knew this or you didn't. But about 2 years ago, they updated the science from the Women's Health Initiative trials. And they said, okay, we were wrong. They're so casual about it. Hormone therapy doesn't appear to be dangerous. Now, we can't, prove that it works. Although millions of women who have been on hormone therapy properly executed have had transformative health changes. So we're talking estrogen, progesterone, so that you can freaking go to sleep, so you're not irritable. We're talking estrogen, which makes a woman, turns off the night sweats, the hot flashes. So we're talking quality of life here. And then we're talking testosterone, which testosterone therapy is great for men and women when they need it. Energy, brain fog, motivation, sex drive, confidence, ability to execute. That's what testosterone does. So I work with some really good hormone doctors, and we do provide hormone therapy all 50 states, guys. So if you are curious about getting your hormones checked, and also understanding how your weight loss goals overlap with the hormones, because they're two different problems, but they overlap. If you balance your hormones, weight loss will become easier. You will protect your muscle mass better when you are optimized on TRT or BHRT therapy. So if you guys haven't had your labs checked, if you haven't had your tests done, you need to do that. Shoot us a text message, guys, 229-441-3562. That number again is 229-441-3562. Any thoughts on Kiss Pepsin 10? That's cool to increase potential luteinizing hormone production and stimulate the testes to produce some testosterone. You can stack that with HCG or Clomid maybe. But honestly, after working with so many men, I find that testosterone, actual therapy, just taking testosterone, is just way better. Brazil, I started GLP-1 for 4 months, down 38 pounds. That's fantastic. However, no one discussed my PCOS and insulin resistance. You need to fix your insulin resistance and inflammation, Brazil. Otherwise, you are going to likely regain that weight back. The statistics on GLP-1 post-weight regain are awful. But the statistics on any weight regain are awful. You know what I mean? Like, people regain weight. That's what they do. Maintaining weight loss has always been extremely challenging. Maintaining weight loss has always been the paradoxical situation that almost never happens. Everybody basically regains their weight. Like, that's what happens. Now, GLP-1s or any weight loss medication, you're gonna have a greater rebound weight when you get off the med, which is why a lot of people are talking about never getting off the medication. And, my opinion is, it's not that I want people to get off the medication. I want to improve their condition. What is your health condition? Is it really good? Is it good? Is it average? Is it low? Is it really low? If you need 10 medications, but you feel great, that's a condition, right? If you need 5 medications and you feel really good and the doctors are happy, that's a condition. If you need 0 medications and your health is good, that's a condition. Now, some people will need medications for the rest of their life. You have genetic situations and you have perplexing situations where it's like we don't really know. I mean, obesity itself, we don't know. We don't know what really causes obesity. There's a genetic piece, there's an environment piece, there's a stress piece, there's an inflammation piece, there's an addictive food piece because we're being marketed and sold addictive food. Every freaking corner of the street, you can get awful food that's full of crap, and it's made by scientists and engineered to be addictive. That's an obesogenic environment, right? And so we're still trying to figure that stuff out. This is why I think GLP-1s is like the baseline medication that a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people are going to have to stay on some amount, I think, to just kind of even the playing field. I think you're going to have to stay on a microdose even when you do everything right. You're going to have to stay on a microdose, but I'm okay with that. I think outcome-wise, condition, if all you need is a microdose of your GLP-1 and you're lifting weights and you're intermittent fasting and you don't have carbs every day, but you have carbs on the weekend, you lift weights, and then you go back to keto on the weekdays, you try to sleep good, you try to take care of your stress, like, that's a really good condition. And you should stay healthy, generally pretty healthy for the rest of your life. It'll be harder for your body to develop diabetes. It'll be harder for your body to develop obesity. It'll be harder for your body to develop blood pressure issues, cholesterol issues, when you can get to the optimal path, optimal condition, and then maintain that condition. That's the goal, guys. Barista says you just described me. I think I described a lot of people, right? I think I described a lot of you right now that are struggling. So, guys, I got to hop off here. Just so you know, you can catch me live every single morning on TikTok and YouTube. If you guys aren't already following me on YouTube, go to YouTube right now. Type in Dr. Jones DC. You'll find me on YouTube, Dr. Jones DC. We put out 4 videos a week. Every single week, we're popping videos about very educational deep dives about GLP-1s, about powerful peptides. And I go over like how to do this stuff properly with the goal in mind of long term. If you're ready to work with me, if you guys want to learn more, if you're like, hey, I'm tired of what I'm doing, if you don't have coaching, guidance, support, structure, then this is the best way to reach out to my team, the 229 number. If you're watching me on TikTok, it's over there. If you're on Facebook, my moderators will pin that and post that right now. But 229-441-3562 is the best way to reach out to my team. So all you got to do is just shoot us a text message. Let them know that you want to get set up for a free consultation. Pre-pad, I talk about microdosing a lot on my page. The way this works, guys, is you'll get a free consultation with my team. They'll go over the program. They'll go over the goals, your goals, and they can make a recommendation of what it's like to work with me and my team. And I've already explained to you what my goal would be for you long term. My goal for you would be to set you up for success, to maintain your weight loss for the rest of your life. That's my goal for each and every one of you, and I think it's very possible. So if you guys are ready to dive in and get the support that you deserve and need, you know where to reach me. Otherwise, follow us on TikTok and YouTube for now. Instagram's pretty cool, by the way. We put out a lot of funny and interesting Instagram content too. So you'll find me everywhere by just typing in Dr. Jones. All right, everybody, have a good day. We'll see you later.